announcements saying, "This is not a drill, this is a real lockdown."
Where were you hiding?
Under the
We
table.
have a woman who was burned alive on a New York City train.
Of the pickup truck that plowed into people, killing at least 15 and injuring many more.
I left the US and moved to Spain because I realized how expensive it was going to be to take care of my pregnancy, have these babies in the US. And the truth is that now we don't want to go back to the US. Waking up to the news lately, living in the US, must be a complete nightmare. The shootings, the drug problem, the driving a truck and killing people, school system issues, the political polarity problems, all of these things right now, I find them so scary. And it makes me refuse to raise my children in the US. And let's just dive deeper into this. Just in 2024, there were how many shootings? 35 school shootings in the US. Can you believe that? That's crazy. Imagine sending your child to school and knowing that someone could just show up with a gun, and even a teenager can show up with a gun to school and kill other students. I remember that the year that I was deciding whether I was gonna move to Spain, one of my friends said,
"My 4-year-old is preparing for the drills." And I say, "The drills? For what?" And she says, "The shooting drills that they do in school."
and to me that was so scary. I was like, we are leaving. No, I want to send my child to school because I know that they're going to make friends, they're going to be better kids, not for them to be on top of their own safety at that young age. Beyond the school shootings, we can talk about crime rates. The crime rates in the US are significantly higher than in Spain. And in Spain, you may hear about petty crime, like, someone stealing your wallet in a really touristy place, maybe like abuse to gender, things like that. That it's not okay, I know, but it's not like killing people, It's just rare to hear about killings of this sort that we hear about in the US. Then there's the healthcare problem. I was talking to my husband the other day because we do take our children to the emergency room a lot for everything that we feel not confident taking care of at home. We take our kids to the ER. One of these days, my toddler grabbed the base of the Christmas tree and hit my 5-month-old in the head, and we were terrified. What if we're not doing the right thing and something bad happens? What if we need to check this baby and we're not doing it? And let me tell you the truth, in the US, we would probably be more worried about the bill than our child's health. We have a concern, we go to the doctor, and the bill is nothing to be scared of. We know what's our priority. Our priority is our child's health, not the bill. And let me just say this out loud and clear. In Spain, all residents have access to healthcare. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Even if you are an illegal immigrant, you go to a hospital and they're going to take care of you without asking any questions. So a little bit more about schools, and now with an emphasis on academics. From what I understand, it looks like the public schools are really struggling. The classrooms are overcrowded, the textbooks and the ways of teaching and learning are outdated, the teachers are underpaid and hating their jobs. We all know here, no secrets, that the quality of education for your child depends on your zip code. If you live in a prestigious place, yes, there's going to be a public school around there that is going to give your child the education that they deserve. And we're talking about bare minimum. We're talking about what everyone deserves. And then if your zip code is crap, then school is going to be crap too. And this is just not my opinion. We all know that this is in the news. The US has a rising child poverty rates to the point that access to healthcare is impossible, good schooling is impossible, and families are having a harder time to thrive every year. Just harder and harder. And we see that even in the homelessness rates. Let's see. The US Department of Housing and Urban Development reported an 18% rise in homelessness compared to the previous years. When we say homeless, we think like, oh, adults. No, there are children too. The vast amount of children in the US that are homeless right now is scary and it's sad and it should not be. Let's contrast that to the situation in Spain so you can understand the difference here. Public schools in Spain are free, as we know that, and they're all pretty standard when it comes to the education that they offer. Teachers are trained to not only teach academics, but also teach community, teach kindness, teach empathy, teach quality of life. The food given in schools is just so great. My kid goes to a school that's half private, half public. The foods that he eats is so good. Sometimes better than what I cook. I look at the menu, I'll put a sample here in the video, but it's like lentils and fish, all kinds of seafood, chicken, potatoes, lettuce, yogurt, Greek yogurt, good quality Greek yogurt, so much fruit. There's nothing fried, there's no frozen meals. It's just real food. And when it comes to private schools, they're just way more affordable than private schools in the US. So yeah, we are staying in Europe for our kids to go to school. We're not going to pay ridiculous money to go to a private school where we never know if someone's gonna come with a gun and hurt one of our children. There's no chance. And let's not forget about the drug problem in the US. The availability of substances like fentanyl and opioids, it's alarming to say the least. And you know, kids are just being exposed to these drugs earlier and earlier. There's no doubt that there's a really bad drug problem in the US, a drinking problem in the US. They use alcohol to release all of that tension and all of that stress. And that's the other thing that I want to say about Spain. There is more work-life balance, and it's something that I am definitely not used to yet after living here for 2 years, but I am glad that my kids are going to grow in that culture, because I don't want them to feel pressured all the time, thinking that money is what matters and that you have to do everything and anything to have money, like do drugs so you can work more, so you can study more, so you can pass your finals, because you need to have money in this life to be anyone, to afford medical care. That's not the case here. Everyone has an opportunity, so there's no rush about making money, because they all have and deserve services like school, medical care, a park, a place to hang out. The work-life balance here is way better. The quality of life here is way better than in the US, and there's more purpose. It's like, okay, I want to have a day off because there are places to go to, there's history to learn, and there are countries that I want to travel to that are accessible here. And another point that worries me a little bit about the US right now is the political polarity that we are experiencing, because it creates a tense environment for kids. It creates conflict between friends and families. I see it. I am a therapist and I hear it from my clients. Oh, like my in-laws are Republican, so we're not going to spend the holidays with them because they're crazy and we don't believe in what they're saying, and if they are going to think this way, then we're not going to see them anymore, or the opposite. But that means that maybe the kids get affected and they're not going to play with their friend anymore. It creates a tense environment, it creates hate, polarization, it creates separation, and it creates a lot of drama that I don't know how healthy it is for kids to live. I don't want to be involved in it, and right now I sometimes even feel relieved that I'm not in the US, because I don't think it's the mindset that I want to be in right now when I am a mom trying to raise healthy and happy children. Now, there are two things that do make me think about going back to the US and make me feel like, oh, I don't know about this decision. You tell me what you think, but I think that the US does offer a lot of great academics when it comes to higher level education. The universities in the US are almost unbeatable. They are wonderful, and there is opportunity for innovation in the US and creativity and technology that maybe I don't see a lot in Spain. But to be honest, I just understand from the get-go that the US is big on tech and innovation and fast-paced life and work and stuff like that, and I do enjoy that culture. It's contradicting what I'm saying, I know, but I do enjoy it. I think it's wonderful, and I see the future when I go to the US. And here everything is slower, which is good to raise children, but I think to raise adults, it's maybe best to be in the US in that regard, so you can be close to those advancements. And the other thing that I do miss about the US is just the way that friendships work over there, and maybe it can be a language problem. Although Spanish is my first language, I do feel like maybe I socialize a little better in English. Not that I have a lot of time to make friends, but I do think that it's easier to make friends in the US. I don't know, what do you think about that thought? Choosing where to raise your children is a big decision. And I know as I say it, it sounds like a luxury. I got to choose where I want to raise my children. If you live in the US without any opportunities to move somewhere else where you can raise children in safety, I want to hear from you. I want to know if you think I'm exaggerating, if you feel scared by living in the US right now. And yeah, I hope this video was helpful and informed you and gave you new perspectives. But that is it for today. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon in another video.